Hi everybody, I am not going to say my name because that would be very not good, but please listen to the first episode of Dangerous Material. The hosts are great guys, very great guys, and everybody knows it, especially my son Baron. Also, I am actually gay, by the way. Enjoy.
No, this is well. Don't worry about it. You're fine. How are you doing, Chris? We got Chris on. How's Chris doing?
Yeah.
Howdy. I'm pretty good. I've been cooped up in my room, releasing like just terrible smells. I don't know what's coming out of my body right now, but it's really really bad, and I can't leave. And Tripp zoomed out a little bit. I couldn't.
Yeah.
I
Flush.
just,
Oh.
that's what I mean when I say I hit the back walls.
Yeah. Give it a flush. Let's hear that flush.
Some good
First
audio.
flush of the pod.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow. I did like almost shit. Well, I'm just fuck it. It's the pod. I'll be honest. I did like shit some pants the other night, like because I've just been drinking whiskey in bed and like really just pushing the edges of what's.
You're my hero. Hell yeah.
Dude, I was just lying in bed. I thought it was a fart, and I shit myself. And then there was like a good 2 minutes where I'm just sitting there like, well.
Nodding. Yeah.
I gotta finish this episode first. Yeah, I feel you.
Christ.
You think you could shit your pants on command? Like if someone told you, like, I'll give you $5, do you think you're actually capable of shitting your pants? I think it's sort of like a brain thing. I don't think I could do it if you told me to do it, unless I like was already needing to shit, you know?
Yeah, I think it's dependent on what's in the tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
100%.
Fair. Yeah. What about piss? You think you could piss your pants on command? Like tried really hard, pushed, without having like a lot of water in you though. Like just fucking point blank. Like right now,
I think
could
so.
either of you
Do
piss?
you want me to try it right now?
Yeah.
I don't think I could go any further down than where I'm at. No.
It'd be cool if we got like a shit and a piss in one fucking
episode. I have
By
some
the end of
my
this
notes.
episode, I guarantee I will have pissed my pants. You can mark my words on that.
I have something in my notes that says Chris is the only one of the three of us who is allowed to join the DSA. I don't know.
Yeah,
what
man,
that means.
I got some friends.
Yeah. I do too. I'm struggling to open up an energy drink right now. It's a little embarrassing. Somebody talk. No, I got friends too. It seems like good in theory, but like you remember that video from like a long time ago where it was like, point of privilege. I hate it when we use guys to refer to the whole assembly. You know what I'm talking about? It was so bad. And then, no, somebody was like, oh, that's crazy, or this is crazy or something. And then somebody went up and was like, guys, it sucks when we use crazy to refer to negative things. And then somebody went up after them and was like, people, we cannot use guys to refer to everyone. It was bad. It was like what a Ben Shapiro thinks of like DSA people, you know? Like it was like the wet dream video for him or some shit. But no, yeah, they're mostly good people. Yeah.
They're good people with good intentions, but sometimes they just get caught up in that whole rhetoric. Yeah. I mean, building a party around it in the first place is like a little, I don't know, suspect in general.
It's a drinking club. Like, that's what it is. It's just a fucking drinking club. And, like, I mean, you got to be honest with yourselves now. Granted, you know, is it the best drinking club? 100p. Like, it's the best fucking drinking club. But, shit, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to do, before we get into the smash rape stuff, which I have been so ready to talk about.
I'm super excited. I mean, not about the rape, but about talking.
Right, but about discussing it, about the implications.
Yeah.
I have a lightning round of topics I want to run by you guys. Dog walker. You remember the dog walker thing in like Central Park?
Yeah.
The lady called the cops. Right. This might anger some. I'm a little bit of a truther for that specific issue. So in like the bird area, that's of like Central Park or wherever it took place, You're not supposed to have your dog. So she's in the wrong first for having her dog there, right? But the guy, the bird watching guy who was there, he really likes birds, right? So he carries like dog treats with him to give to other people's dogs if they wander in there, and people get freaked out when people feed their dog shit, right? Like just random strangers or whatever. And so that's what started like the altercation, which isn't enough to swing the pendulum one way or another on who's in the right, who's in the wrong, but good context. I don't know. I'm just asking.
I didn't actually watch the video though.
Neither did I. I didn't even read an article. I just saw posts about it, and I'm like, oh, that's how I think about this.
Right, but so the whole like the situation was he was just bird watching. She called for what reason?
Oh wait, so
because he was there.
I think he fed the dog treats or something, actual treats, not poison. And then she was like, "What are you doing with my fucking dog?" Like she freaked out. And then did the bad, like basically implying that she was gonna call the hit squad to come murder this man by saying that she was like a white woman in danger.
Well, no, he was mad that the dog was off leash.
Right? Yeah.
Which is like, and I didn't realize that was because there's a lot of like off leash dogs here. I don't know if that's like a thing in cities where you're not allowed to have off leash dogs, but
you're not supposed to. I think it's against ordinance or whatever. Yeah.
Very fair. Very fair. Can I throw something into the lightning round real quick?
Yeah, spit it.
Okay, so I was having a very, very, very rough week, and our buddies Jake and Connor came down to visit, and they brought these two kids who I initially thought were like they just graduated, but they turned out they were like 17. And one of them is like a aspiring Navy SEAL.
What? Really?
And so just like mask off for a minute. I broke up with a girl that I've been dating for 4 years, and I don't believe in killing yourself. I think that I have too many enemies to go out by my own hand. So the plan was to do what I've been calling going tactical, where I make jokes about going tactical on my enemies, who are more and more numerous by the day. Obviously not the ex-girlfriend, but the central bank, and there's a let's just say there's an office of the Federal Reserve in Denver, and they don't know how lucky they are. But I kept making these jokes where I'm like, I'm gonna go tactical, and it was like the whole weekend of me like doing these bits to make myself feel better about being a coward who won't kill myself. And so I'm doing these bits in front of the future Navy SEAL, and he's getting steadily more pissed. And he has a Blue Lives Matter phone case, and I'm drunk as shit and taking dabs and being like, this is what you're fighting for right here. Like me right here. This is what you're fighting for. And he wasn't like a Navy SEAL yet, but like, goddamn, he could have beat the shit out of me at like 17. And like at one point, I'm like beating the shit out of these bits because everyone knows when I'm in some deep emotional pain, the only way my autistic brain can rap.
You keep riffing. You keep saying shit. Yeah.
And so I kept doing these things about going tactical, and like I kept calling myself a tier 1 operator. And
it's so funny to say that to a future Navy SEAL guy.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm tier 1. You're a little.
I was like, this is what a tier 1 operator looks like. And at one point, he actually like got so sick of it that he just left and went to the 7-Eleven. And he's like from Missouri, so like never been to where we were before, and just like found his way to a 7-Eleven because he was so irritated that I literally wouldn't stop like saying like, I'm gonna fucking go tactical on this.
That's great.
Yeah, so that's
psychological warfare. You're in his head, Tripp.
Dude. I know. And it was one of those things where it's like, if you can't handle me, you're not going to be able to handle Buds, bro. Like, listen, I read Lone Survivor. I know what it takes. I am Chris Kyle, dude.
I was at the father-son banquet. I heard Eric writing this.
I also have something in my notes that just says we should talk about how Chris Kyle in his book talks about coming home, and it's like, my wife was unfaithful, and the way he says this is I came back and to my surprise, my wife had another kid. Needless to say, she had been unfaithful. The baby was not even the same race as me.
Dude, they do not cover that in the Clint Eastwood movie.
No, they don't touch on it.
That is not a side plot. It would be so sick if they did cover that, though. It's like another. You remember, like, they had the fake baby in that movie. Like, they got made fun of because they used like an obvious fake baby to like give emotional depth to Chris Kyle, but it's just like a fake black baby that he's holding.
Yeah. Did he not shoot the baby in the movie? I thought that's how that went.
Well, he shoots like the Muslim kid in Iraq or Iran, and like they shoot it in a way where it's like fucking, oh, the bullet went through his arm or something. Like, it's not a clear confirmed kill or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got like plausible deniability for it, you know.
Yeah, that's not canon though, from what I know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that kid took it to the dome.
No, that kid got killed. Yeah.
The guy don't miss. That's his whole thing.
Dude, the best Chris Kyle shot is the Collateral one where he hit the guy. There's two guys on a scooter, and they were just going through this town in Iraq, and he snipes through both of them. And I'm sure, like, they put the UAV on for him, like they had to.
I'm just imagining some drunk kids like riding down Chicago on one of those fucking Lime scooters and just boom, Collateral right on Lakeshore Drive. God damn, I would love to see that. I would pay good money. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're fine. During Katrina, you guys hear that, right? That he like shot or sniped looters, quotation marks, looters, from like the top of the Superdome where the Saints play. Like he said that in his book or whatever, but that probably didn't happen. But it's a weird like lie to just come up with, you know? Like there might be a kernel of like, I don't know, someone he killed after Katrina. Yeah, fucked up dude.
What?
Yeah.
Did they deploy like the military for Katrina?
They did. Okay. I think it was also a thing though too, where like, just like powerful dudes or like police officer dudes just like went down to Katrina or to New Orleans after Katrina to like keep the peace or whatever the fuck that means. You know,
I fucking know because one of them's about to be my father.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. No, well, they have like task forces in each fucking state where they're basically second responders to any like national tragedy. So he like went up to fucking 9/11 or whatever, and then he went down to Katrina after like you don't really need any, like you're gonna have a ton of volunteers anyways, but like these guys are on retainer or whatever. So he's got a bunch of stories about how he like had to wrestle alligators for whatever reason. And
yeah, like I'm sorry. Let me pause really quick. I gotta let somebody in. Very unprofessional.
I mean,
okay. What are we talking about, Chris Kyle?
Killing yourself, but yeah, let's Chris Kyle, dude.
I'm sensing a trend back to killing ourselves.
Well, again, it's gonna be
Chris Kyle did though, yeah.
True.
Yeah.
That's a good theory. That's a good enough theory that it's just the truth now.
How dare you fucking?
How did he die?
Operator.
He got shot by a guy at a shooting range, like another vet that they were doing like cathartic shooting, I guess, for like PTSD vets or whatever, and he just got domed by another vet. And in the movie, it's so funny how they announce it because like it takes place at the very end, and there's just like a weird looking dude coming up to Chris, and then it just fades to black, and then text on screen, Chris Kyle lost his life that day from the bullets of another veteran or something. Yeah, they did not show it.
It's just don't stop believing, and then the screen goes black. Tony Soprano is a tier 1 operator. That'd be good. Somebody should do that.
Yeah, I like one of those Tony memes. Or no, it'll be like, I love thinking in memes now. That's something I catch myself a lot. Thinking in Wojak specifically, but it's like the Zoomer Wojak with like the undercut haircut. And he's like, no, The Sopranos is a Marxist critique on the American dream. And then it's just like a Chad Boomer, and it's like,
Dude, I
Tony's
just
awesome.
saw that.
Yeah.
Haha, gabagool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a critique on misogyny, and
Yeah.
even when families are close, there can still be things that go wrong. She made the good she made a good gabagool. It's in the freezer.
I like it when Chris does cocaine.
We should do a cocaine episode, just fucking bunch of blow and just,
Yeah, that would be good.
Get freaky.
If I survive this sickness, absolutely.
Do you have it?
I don't know, man. I have to wait. I don't really have like the main symptoms. Like I'm not coughing and I can still smell and like taste shit. But I woke up. I'll just tell my story now if that's all right. So I was just couch surfing because my lease ended in June. And I was pet sitting a cat in this really fucking disgusting apartment. Just horrible. I think they were moving out too, but like there was no excuse. It smelled like stale propane and trash everywhere we went in the house. And like he had this cat who would rub against everything and knock shit over. And when you have a cat like that, you can't just leave like propane torches out, which he did. So like I'm surprised I didn't blow the whole thing up, but whatever. I got out of there, slept on like 2 more couches. I'm like, on some real bad behavior because I'm drinking every day or whatever. And I wake up on fucking July 4th with just my throat hurts so bad. I can't even swallow. Like it was terrible. My lymph nodes were like past my jawline. And so I just drive all the way back to Missouri because I was like, if I fucking have coronavirus, I can't be couch surfing anymore.
Yeah.
That's not great. So now I'm like locked up in my room, but I drove like the whole 5 hours, like just in such pain. And
it's gonna be an awful fucking drive.
Yeah, it fucking was. And I didn't eat anything either because every time I would try to swallow, like it just wouldn't go down. Mm-hmm. So I would get like fucking Gatorade bottles and just use it basically as a spitter. Like I had fucking switched to smokeless.
Fuck.
Yeah, man. And
it was that's rough. Some shit.
And no, it's not even that bad because on the drive back, my fucking bumper falls off. Like, as I'm on the way back, and I have my bike in the back seat, so I can't like throw the bumper back there. And I just left it. So now I have a bumperless car, and might have Corona. And my mom. The nice thing is, my mom drops off dinner, which will happen during this pod. So
I love that a lot.
Nice. Dude,
I'd like her to come in and say a little bit to us.
Oh, she can't come in here. She'd get sick. She just puts that.
Maybe shout it from the door.
We can have that.
Yeah.
Man, that's so good. And Steve was like, we were doing one of these, and like I just hear like Steve, like where we hang up, we're doing like the part where we talk about like editing and shit. Not to peel the curtain back too far, but and like I just hear Steve's mom from downstairs just go, "Steve, dinner's ready," and I almost cried. I was like, God, I wish that were me.
When did that? Did I do one?
That was
home?
like early.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
It might not have been even an ep. It might have just been like
a chat.
Just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that hurts, dude. Oh,
Are you in Missouri, Steve, right now?
No, I'm still in Philadelphia. I'm thinking about going back sometime soon, though.
I'm thinking about leaving sometime soon, so I gotta get back.
We'll cross paths.
Yeah.
My little brother went to Destin, Florida, and like now thinks he got it, and it was like, fuck, dude. So I can't even go home, which is a shame because I'm about to be fucking homeless. Although what we're gonna do is we're just gonna be storage unit people.
I like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah. No, why not?
Just fucking everybody in one of those like big like high-rise storage centers or whatever, and like it's
I like that. You ever read the Boxcar Children? The Boxcar Children books.
Yeah, dude. 100p.
You should
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Hell
Those
yeah.
books were sick. They were like 80 pages and the words were like size 32 font. So you got to feel like a genius for reading them. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
dude. That like created so many crust punks. That's like the crust punk, like that's the start of their fucking lives.
Yeah.
And then there's, I think maybe later they maybe get involved in like left wing politics, and then you have to be like, oh yeah, we're here with the crusties at the march. It's like fuck.
There's a big group of crust punks that hangs out like in the neighborhood next to mine, and they're just so disgusting. But they have all these dogs like all the time hanging around, and it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
That's all I have to say about them. They're always rolling cigarettes and like letting the dogs slobber to like let them slobber on it so they can roll it up.
One of our friends was at like a widespread panic show and was like enjoying the hell out of himself, but ended up in like a Wooks section, and apparently like somebody whipped their like white guy dreads around and they got like in his face, and I guess he was just like covered in sand and shit, and he was like coughing for like 2 minutes because this dude was like the shit was so vile that hit him in the face, and like 2 weeks later came down with pneumonia, like the worst pneumonia he's ever had, he said. And it was literally like just the proximity to these fucking
they're a disgusting people. Yeah, I think we can all fucking agree on that shit. Fucking Kanye, we got to talk about that. All these people telling me not, just briefly, because it's something I would have thought was so cool in high school, but like, it's not that cool anymore. Like, I feel like we already did this with, like, the Waka Flocka shit, but all of the people telling me that it's not a joke to vote for Kanye, sorry, you're making it a joke to vote for Kanye. You're willing me into existence to, like, I don't know, fucking throw my vote away. You're telling anybody, that it makes you mad. Oh, I'm going to do it to make you mad.
Dude. It's like the worst fucking people.
Yeah, I'm like the Joker for doing this. I'm powerful for doing this. Yeah, I'm gonna vote for Kanye. Fuck.
By taking it seriously at all, by giving it any fucking it's just like, dude, come on.
You think they would have figured out that you need to do reverse psychology on people like me? You need to trick me.
That's how votes will be got.
Yeah.
On the irony platform.
Yeah, don't appeal to my morals. What the fuck is that?
Do bits. Like, fucking be funny. Like, if you're not entertaining me, I am not interested in this shit. And if it's more entertaining than shit on you, go fuck yourself. And,
just like, you're not gonna say anything genuine that's like gonna strike a chord with anyone when you're talking about a Kanye presidency, because the whole fucking thing is so absurd. And, like, no one, I don't know, man.
Well, he's like just legitimately schizophrenic, so it's like like, no, he's like posted about how he's schizophrenic before. There's no question. So then you being like fucking. The worst is the photo of like fucking Kanye photoshopped in over the Bernie vote share. That one's fucking brutal. I'll never forget it. There was a point where the three of us actually were in Chicago, and you and me, Chris, went out to some lake house, and these guys like were doing alt-right dog whistles and being like, oh, like we can't offend our friends, or oh, is he our guy or whatever, because they were mad that.
Were they doing that? I don't even remember, man.
They were, because the two of you went off because they were being such pricks, and then like I just sat with them, and they were like it was like just talking to our streetwear.
Hell yeah.
It was like these fucking dudes, like, well, I mean, they were talking about the lady who started Comme des Garçons or whatever, and they're like, yeah, you probably never heard of her. I was like, how the fuck? Like, literally everyone has those fucking shoes, dude.
I know.
Fucking, you probably don't know about this shit because you dress like no, this was a choice, motherfucker.
That was Steve in high school. Come on, grow up.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, dude. And that is what it is too. It's like you're just taking votes away from Trump at this point. So it's like I don't mind Kanye running at all, dude. The Kanye people. I mean, like the Kanye thing has been shorthand for like just being a shitty man, like for like the last 5 or 10 years, which just blow because it's like there are a couple of great fucking albums in there, but it's like the cult of personality he established attracts people who fucking care about shoes and shit, which oof.
Back on the mental health thing, it is so funny how like his last like 6 albums or whatever, 3 albums are just like him saying he's not on Lexapro anymore and about how he gets brain zaps, and then people are like, he is actively trying to undermine the democracy, and it's like he does not know what the fuck is going on.
He's going through his own little moment.
Yeah. It's sad. It's just kind
also. I just read something like he's super fucking rich, like he's bordering on billionaire. But 4 years ago, wasn't he like bankrupt? Like he was on the verge of bankruptcy. Or was
I remember that too.
Yeah.
I remember that too. I think when you're that rich, numbers don't even matter. You know, they're always fluctuating. Yeah, no one fucking knows.
Well, that's like that blue check mark thing on Trump, where it's like, oh, his failed businesses, like that's gonna get people to be like, oh, he can't be president.
Yeah,
like, dude, if you were already on board for the Trump thing, who gives a shit? It's gonna be, oh, what, like Trump's deal with Omaha Steaks that fell through?
These people play fucking checkers with startups, guys. Like,
yeah, like he's not an honorable billionaire or an honorable millionaire. Fuck off.
Now Elon Musk, and that is what it is. It's like that other faction where it's like the Muskie Boys and all those other like fucking.
That's a good term for him. Muskie Boys.
The Muskie Boys.
I saw a tweet that was like, Elon Musk is a dumb guy's idea of what a smart guy is, and that's just so perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. That would make me not vote for Kanye, is because he's friends with Elon. That's the thing to take you off of him.
He squandered all of his goodwill. Like, also, like, I mean, times have changed too. Like back when the internet was like super like libertarian and whatever, he was like, oh, fucking awesome. And it is so funny how like quickly we've moved on in the culture where now it's like if you're like the libertarian guy, people are just gonna mock you for wanting to fuck underage women because like that's out of the bag in 2020 if you're a libertarian, dude. Everybody knows what's up with that.
Perfect segue from libertarian fucking underage woman to Smash Bros pedophilia.
Let's fucking go. Weeds were evil, like always in the heart of hearts. You had to know that there was some fucked up shit turning in there. Oh man. Oh man.
I think it is sort of like do you remember that David Foster Wallace fucking short story about the Adult Film Awards and how they're like a dark microcosm of the Academy Awards or whatever. So this whole Smash pedophilia Me Too Weinstein moment is essentially that, but about like rape versus like just like award shows or whatever, for analogous to like regular Hollywood, because it's just all of them, you know. It really is just like this huge collection of like, but the thing is though too, it doesn't have the same amount of like tradition as regular Hollywood. So like instead of like the rapist being like Weinstein level powerful people, it's just like fat nerds who are good at a children's game, you know, like that's how they accrue their level of like prestige that like normally would have kept them safe from the accusations, which is surreal, you know. Like it's not even a good game either because it's not fucking Melee, but so like a week ago,
it's just the Smash Ultimate players and like Smash 4, right?
It's a little bit drifting into Melee now, which we'll get into. I want to talk about that too. So Big Hungry Box fucking coming out soon. I know. That'll be he has it. Oh, no. You know what? We're going to save it because there's another good Melee one that I'm really excited to tell you about. But so for Smash Ultimate, which is like the current Smash Bros. Game on Switch, like a week ago, they're called like twitlongers, where they're just like these big like docs that you can post on Twitter or whatever.
I looked into a few. So I looked into 3 cases: the Cinepi, and the 2 Captain Zach ones.
Okay,
which is interesting.
Okay, Tripp. So two of the top fucking Smash Ultimate players, like number 2 and number 3, they had sex with the same 14-year-old boy. They abused the same 14-year-old boy at different times. So it wasn't just like one like it was one like 6 months ago and then another one like 3 months later, you know? So like just insane, you know? Like, oh, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are fucking the same boy, you know? Like, what the fuck is that?
Do you think there's like an Epstein within the Smash community? Like there's a guy who's not really involved in playing Smash, but he's just like, I like the culture.
Chris, you don't know how right you are about saying that. So first I want to talk about this other guy, this guy named Zero, who was just like the de facto best Smash 4 player. He won like 50 tournaments or whatever, and is like, he's on Facebook Gaming, and he got like a $10 million deal, $8 million deal to just stream video games on Facebook. So like,
he made that fucking cash, brother.
Dude, he did, yeah. Like, it's crazy how much those guys get paid, even for just like streaming, you know? Because I think it's one of those things that just doesn't really make money, you know? It's like any fucking tech startup where it's like, oh yeah, well, it'll eventually make money, but it's not making money now. So it's crazy that they fucking do that, you know? But apparently that dude, so first he got canceled because he apparently showed his one-time roommate, who was like a 14-year-old girl, which weird to have. I think he was young too. He was like 17 or something, but weird, like, I don't know. It was in this big streamer house too. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit together, I'm getting a little bit out of order, but this streamer house, it was owned by this guy Sky Williams, who is essentially the Epstein of the Smash pedophilia world. And the Sky Williams streamer house is his Little St. James or Lolita Express, because it's where all the bad shit happens, you know? The guy is like a psycho in his own way too. There was a DM of like, apparently he was like really anal about like letting people or having guests in the house or something. And there was like an unannounced guest who came over one day. So he sent like all 10 people who were living in his house a message that was like, hey, if you don't pay me $350 for this uninvited guest, I'm going to go into each of your rooms and break something of value. Just like an insane, like mentally not there man, you know? He recently did like this apology stream also, where he's just essentially like crying in front of the camera, apologizing to people. And then there's like a screenshot of Twitch chat, and it's just like penises made out of like punctuation marks, you know, like people just aren't taking it seriously. I'll send you that after. It's a very funny picture. Fuck. But this guy Zero, he like showed this one girl like hentai, which if that was it, that's not like as bad as the 2 guys fucking the 14-year-old, right? But it's like, what a pathetic way to get like canceled or to catch accusations. I showed this girl hentai, not even regular porn, but fucking hentai. Like, what a just huge, yeah, just pathetic. But then after that accusation, another girl came forward and said that when she was a 14-year-old and the dude was like 19 or something, he would send her, he would like extensively Skype message her, right? And eventually asked her to like masturbate with an ice cube on camera for him, which like, what the fuck? That's horrible. I know, what the fuck is the ice cube thing now? Like, any ideas from either of you? What the fuck does that mean?
I've made my nipples hard with ice cubes, but only
like
as a bit. Yeah, I don't know.
But only because it was funny.
Only because people were asking me to do it, so it's like
yeah, because a big streamer was asking me to do it. But yeah, fucking weird shit. And over.
Yeah, go ahead.
No. What were you gonna say?
No, I keep going. There was some other weird shit with Zero, but yeah.
Yeah, no. So also, like, after the hentai one, he released like this big document, kind of like painting the person who came forward in like a bad light. Like, oh, she said I did this, but we like amicably texted 6 months after this alleged incident occurred. And it's like, okay, that doesn't really mean you didn't show her hentai though, or weren't like weird about that, you know? But then after the second one comes out, he releases a new document, and I think he sort of cops to it. He was like, oh, I didn't know she was 14. But then in the screenshots, it like shows her telling him that she's 14, and then like 30 other fucking screenshots of him still talking to her. So it's like, you did know though, like it's right fucking there. Then he also includes this like 6-page long thing about like his tragic backstory growing up in Chile, and how like his parents got divorced, or his mom or his dad beat his mom or something, which is like, okay, that's sad, but a little doesn't feel hyper relevant to you asking a 14-year-old to beat off on camera, you know?
No.
Also, right? Okay, let's just say, right when she said, I'm 14, he was like, oh man, I just want to rub your belly like a cat. Like,
dude,
that was his response.
This is good. This is a good segue. So, do you guys remember the Tiger Woods text messages that came out like after his whole affair scandal broke? There's this. So he's like a Chad, right? He's like, this is a different situation because that was like a consensual affair and this wasn't. But like, he's just like, he gives her so little, you know, Tiger Woods does to like this lady he's texting, because she'll like, she sends out this really heartfelt message where she's like, Tiger, I had such a great time spending, or I had such a good time spending time with you earlier tonight. I think I'm falling for you. I think I'm in love with you. And then Tiger Woods sends a message that's just like, it's because I'm Blasian, and then smiley face, like colon of in parentheses, which is such a funny thing to tell a woman who's admitting love for you. Like, it's because I'm Blasian. Like, he's used to it, you know? He's used to being like, I don't know, like a cool guy, or like having people want to talk to him, where all these Smash people are stunted, you know, don't really know how to like fucking like use their fame to have like, I don't know, like
that's a good point.
You know, like real relationships with like people who they can have relationships with and shit. But yeah, in the Zero text, there's so much shit like, it's like weird like anime-esque like reenactment shit where like he saw something in some cartoon and he's like trying to replay that weird script with this girl who doesn't know like what's going on in his head. Yeah, it's like ooh shit. Yeah, it's like there's so many times where he like does like the asterisks and then is like points at you for blushing, or rubs your head, or like pets your belly or whatever, and it's like what the fuck, do you think this is flirting? Like, what is this even supposed to be?
I think
you know?
that should be counted as abuse.
It makes it way worse. Makes it way worse.
It really does. Yeah.
Abuse within asterisks. At least 5 years onto that prison.
Yeah. Even if she was of age and everything was fucking kosher, that would still be abuse. That's fucking disgusting. Jesus.
Yeah, he does a lot of like XDs too, you know, it's the virgin XD versus the Chad colon open parentheses Tiger Woods smiley face. Like, it's just such a clear example of like, this is kind of the same thing, but also so fucking different, you know, just because these guys are like insanely stunted, like man children, you know. Fuck. Yeah. God damn.
So this all came to some kind of reckoning in the
yeah. So this guy then releases a third twit longer. This guy Zero, after like even more evidence comes out. So each one he's like progressively like admitted a little bit more, and then finally in the third one he's like, yeah, fuck it, I did it. Goodbye, everyone. Like he's just like, I'm out.
I gotta come clean. That was
yeah.
He was like, yeah, everything they said was true.
Yeah.
I'm retired now.
Dude, what even hurts more is like, you know, obviously we were all big like Smash people, but you can imagine that the poor kids in the Smash circuit who would care have to be just autistic as hell, and it just sucks, dude.
Tripp, you are 1,000% right. You reminded me of something. So after the second one, where the 14-year-old girl was posting like the screen caps of the Skype logs or whatever, legions of this guy Zero's fans, who are all pretty much 11 and 12-year-old boys,
yes.
They like put a lot of the screenshots into this like Photoshop detector, heavy quotations on Photoshop detector, and we're like, yeah, there's weird pixelation on this part of the image. There's a good chance that this isn't for real or whatever. And then in the next thing, he's like, oh yeah, it's 1,000% real. I did it. So all of these young boys are just like grasping at so many fucking straws to not have their like fat gamer god be a fucking pedophile, and he just is, he just fucking is.
How do they reckon with that, dude? How do they move forward?
There's another
do they
great...
go and they're like, we're gonna boycott the Smash scene, we're gonna make our own around Zero? He's got enough fucking money to build his own like mansion.
I think he's still gonna have a fan base. Yeah.
He's got his own enough money to make the fucking massage ring, but with you know what I mean?
There was this great reply. On Twitter to the last Zero Twit Longer where he admits to all the bad shit, and it's this kid with like a Funko Pop Avi, and him saying like, Zero, please, I've learned that it's not good to judge people by the things that they've done. You're still good in my book. Or the things they've done in the past. You're still good in my book. Which is like, how the fuck else do you judge people if not by the things they've ever done, Like, it's just like an insane thing that's concocted in this 11-year-old's brain.
You could do all those mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
You fit.
I'm picturing, like, you guys ever seen the movie Almost Famous about, like, the groupie?
Yeah.
Like in Almost Famous, but it's just like a 14-year-old boy who keeps getting fucked by the community.
Dude, it's so depressing because that's all I could think of. Like they're not even like cool celebs, like that's fucked to say, but like shit,
no, they suck, dude. Like
they suck so bad.
Zero can't even complete a fucking sentence. Like quite no offense to whatever, but like
no offense to Tripp, the other autist in the call.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, that was good, Chris. That was good. That's a good.
That's good.
Yeah,
good bits.
Damn. Okay, so now the melee stuff. I'm trying to. Well, if there's any more,
I do want to fucking talk about the Cinepie.
Oh yeah. Talk about that. Because
there's some crazy videos. Okay, so this one thing.
Yeah.
There's this lady smasher. She was 24 at the time, and she's just a commentator because she's not good at the game, but she loves being there, hanging out, going to the parties, getting drunk. And there's this 14-year-old, pretty good smasher. She's always commentating when he's on the fucking sets. And there are multiple videos of like streams of them in the background where two people are playing in the foreground where she's just like touching up on him. And he's like a head and a half shorter than her. He's like tiny, dude. He's like, I almost doxed someone. He's like, from, whenever.
Right.
And she's just like touching him. And basically, she started this relationship with him, and keep in mind, she is 10 years older than him, and he's a literal child. Like, I don't even think his body has developed yet.
Yeah.
And they're at this fucking party. He's there. She's drinking. He's not. He goes out in the hall because some reason. And he, like, chases after him and fucking tackles him.
Yeah.
Which just shows you how much bigger this, like, got the whole fucking, like, that haircut, the bangs that swoop to the side.
The roar girl, the raw exterior.
Yeah. And so she tackles him and just, like, makes out with him and, like, forcibly sucks his dick, which is just absurd.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. So a couple things. It's the fact that there are like so many different videos where you can just see her like groping him in the background of videos is insane. It's
he would win a game and she would be like, ooh.
and they're
that's the fucked up thing.
Yeah.
100%.
There's an interview with Lil Wayne, who started rapping when he was like 10, and there's like a story of like one of the first times he met Birdman, and he was like he was like freestyling or whatever, and people were like, holy shit, it's so fucking good. And in the interview he goes, man, I can't do a good Wheezy. He's got such a fucking distinctive voice.
Please try.
Okay, all right. He goes, I never forget I was 18. Or I was 11. Birdman brought over this girl, and he was like, she's gonna take you in the back room now. And he goes, and I'll never forget what I said to that bitch. Suck Lil Wayne's little dick. Which is the crispiest thing I think I've ever heard.
Wheezy F baby, because he is a baby getting his dick sucked.
Yup. He was like 17 when the Carter came out, which is incredible if you think it, because that is one of the fucking
Incredibly
rap
talented,
albums of all
man.
time. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Chris Brown also said that when he was like 6, someone fucked him. You know, like an older woman or something. You know, which like Chris Brown did a lot of fucked up shit, but that is rough to have sex as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. Like, you're not ready. You're not ready to fuck.
What the fuck, dude? That's so fucked up.
This may be fucked up, but you have the Chad rap survivor. I gotta go.
The Virgin R&B.
Yeah. Chad Wheezy F versus Virgin Smash player.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, we made a farce of these poor people. Like, well, listen, we're deep enough in it. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Clearly, the people who did the raping are worse. I'm just gonna put that out there right now.
Amen.
Oh yeah.
Amen, man. Amen.
I'm gonna get so many Twitter follows.
Woke King.
The shittiest thing is that as a hobby gets kind of more niche and shittier, it seems like, not shittier as in Smash is like shitty, but like competitive Smash sounds like it's pretty fucking shitty. Like, it just, you're rubbing elbows with rough people, and it's like the first one of these that like broke that like the entire scene is corrupt is just pop punk, because it was like for a long time pop punk was just like every dude in a pop punk band was like 25 and like sleeping with high schoolers, and like no one ever talked about it until like a couple years ago. That was actually like pre-Me Too, and it was
that's not like the DIY scene or whatever. That's like translated sort of.
Right. Yeah. 100%. Because that is what it is. It's like you make fucking songs about high school, and it's like that probably isn't great if you're like 30 years old and you're like still like dressing like you're fucking, on Warped Tour or whatever. It's like, it's fucking.
That's a good point. Yeah, they were probably stunted because of the scene that they entered, and then never like evolved the scene with themselves. Yeah.
So is it just any sort of like I don't know, community or industry, whatever the fuck you call it, that it has like kids in it, or like that has child fans? Like, are there just gonna be like pedophiles whenever there are kid consumers or kid like community members that have clout or industry prestige or whatever? It seems inevitable, just with like fucking Smash and like all of music and fucking movies and shit. Like,
well, dude, TikTok is notorious now for just being full of pedophiles. And
really?
I believe it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
No, dude, there's this guy. He's like he got removed from TikTok for this shit, but his name was like Dabade, and he looks like he is a fucking ogre. He is one of the ugliest people I've ever seen, and like he kind of rose to prominence on being ugly as shit and like doing these, like, I guess you can. I fucking hate TikTok, but I guess you can do like a duet, so it's like you're both frame, but the other person doesn't have to necessarily know that you're doing it. So he like amassed a following for being ugly as shit, and then he would just be in these little girls' videos and like fucking sending them messages like, "Oh, you're so beautiful," and he was like 35, and it's like that is like they're gonna go wherever fucking kids are at. You know what I mean? Like I think that is one of those like sad facts of the fucking matter. Where it's like, oh, like fucking early Gen Z kids are on TikTok. Looks like it's my time to go scoop. Like, it's
why is there so much of it? This is fucked up. Like, man, I don't know. I feel like it can't just be like you're born a pedophile. Like I feel like there's got to be a cultural. I don't know. I think it's the celebrity thing in general. The fact that people can wield that much power at all, that they're able to be in those positions. But like, man. But that 35-year-old dude, if you think about it, he was never someone that I can assume he didn't amass a ton of fucking power. And
no, he was like a fucking joke, but it was like he was like, it was like a thing where it was like he got enough attention that if he did like a duet with you in your video, like because he was like just like an ugly fucking disgusting and like people were like making fun of him, and it's like he's famous for being like a fucking like an animal basically,
Right,
just like
troll.
Yeah, this like this
Goblin.
bit. Yeah, you're like just so ugly that you're like a fucking cartoon. I've known some people like that in my day.
I'm doing a Zoom call with two of them. Hey yo.
No, everybody, listen. This is Chad's supporting Chad's right here.
Yeah, this is a beautiful boy podcast.
This is yeah. No,
is that the title of the pod?
I was thinking about just
Boy
reusing
podcast.
dangerous material, but I do like beautiful boys.
We're all very pretty. Steve's jacked
Hell
as
yeah!
hell.
Look at your fucking hair.
Oh yeah.
Like that. That looks good. On TikTok, I found a TikTok priest. I'm sure there's dozens or like thousands even of TikTok priests, but it is just like he'll do like all of the trends. There's like an outfit trend or whatever where like teens will wear different outfits or whatever, which is probably ripe for pedophiles. But he does it with like the vestments, you know, of the church. And
yeah, baby, the Easter. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
You know, he's just. I was talking to my brother about this, and he had a good point because it's like he was telling me that there were like all sorts of like kids he knew who were like into like content like that, and there's a big crossover. What do you like? Into like like I won't name the kid's name, but we know that one guy who was like the overtly Catholic theater kid. There's a big crossover of like the super Catholic kids and the theater kids, and I think it's because like Catholic kids, if they're like Catholic, don't feel comfortable like expressing like gay tendencies or whatever, so they get the gay tendencies out in the theater world, in like theatrics, and then like if you've got like a theatrical priest type character, that's like a 2-for-1 deal, He's getting you on your love of theater. He's getting you
like surfer priest.
Like surfer priest. Exactly. Wow. Like surfer priest.
Dude, okay, he should be
perfect actually.
Not
and
him.
Catholicism's like one of the most performative religions too.
Definitely.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And it's okay, so this is maybe a bridge too far, but can this individual that we're talking about, this fucking 5'3", I would fuck him. I would blow that back. She is so hot, and I would blow that back like.
Oh really?
Oh yeah, no, he has a gorgeous.
Okay.
Like,
good for him. You know what? I like him. I like him. I like watching him.
I want him to be our Seth Dickfield. Like I want him to be like the fucking one where it's like it's come to my attention that
we gotta get a voice for him or something.
Dude.
I haven't heard him talking like he is. Yeah.
The funny thing is, he's the opposite of like the Seth Dickfield. If we're just doing Come Town bits at this point, like that's like this like fucking overly like woke or whatever the fuck, because he is like just quietly a literal Nazi, and he was the one who was posting that shit when like they were talking
all
about
the BLM shit.
St. Louis, like he switched up so quick when they went for a saint. It's like, dog, have you dug into this religion?
Oh, yeah.
I knew it. I knew that's who y'all were talking about on the episode you sent me. I knew it. Okay.
Well, he wasn't the fucking only one that we knew, but it is crazy to be, you don't like your fucking religion like killed the Native Americans. Like basically JC and it's like specifically Catholicism. Like listen, Martin Luther wasn't over here. You know what I mean? Creating some kind of weird like neo-feudalism that's like justified by priests. But it's like priests ran the silver mines. Priests like fucking just murdered Indians just like by the hundreds of thousands, and it's like
all the fucking missions that they started in California and then killed those Mexican people and the indigenous people. Like,
you can't really be woke and Catholic. It's hard, or to like.
The Onasant martyr that they're fucking flexing over was justifiably killed by Native Americans for trying to do cultural genocide. And the Native Americans need to be the fucking heroes there, because it's like, what the fuck? Half your martyrs were just killed by Native Americans who were sick of you being like, hey, you can only have sex in this way. And they're like, who the fuck are you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, fuck the martyrs. Dude, I'll tell you what, I have some respect for martyrs. but not
Sure,
that
sure.
faith.
There's
anyone who takes.
There's one thing I know about you. It's that you love martyrs. That you respect martyrs.
I'm just saying, dude. If you strike out against the great Satan or the little Satan, that takes a lot of courage. And I want to stop getting.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I've gone on this terrible.
We should definitely go deep into Catholics on the fucking veiled prophet thing, though.
Yeah, that would be a good one to do.
It's so big in St. Louis that
I want to talk about. I want to talk about that. We got.
I think we should save it for another episode.
Yeah,
though.
we
should.
We
should come in with some research.
I want to tell you about one other Smash thing. So Mewtwo King, the guy, right? He's like this insanely good but probably like on like Asperger's autistic spectrum trip. Yeah, like that's sort of his thing. Like his whole thing is that he like counts the frames and like ran like he created like this detailed list in like 2008 of just like how long each move takes and how far it goes and like he made stats for Melee.
You would just sit in the basement, do each move, and then
exactly, yeah. So like an insanely high level perk. But fucking, there was this rumor that was going around like recently about how like in 2011 or something, he like jerked off on a sleeping girl or something, right? And it's like, oh, well, wait. It's horrifying, right? It's such a bad thing. Oh my God. And it sucks. That would have been really fucking horrible. But then he publishes this video. He does this stream on Twitch where he addresses everyone and he's like, everybody, this could not have happened because when I was a child, I had a botched circumcision and am unable to ejaculate. Can you fucking believe that shit? Dude, that first of all, it's the saddest fucking thing you'll ever hear and a reason to join Intact America. Let's talk about Intact America.
Hell yeah,
in
brother.
Fucking circumcision, in fucking genital mutilation. We've got a
dude.
cause on this podcast. But also
all proceeds go to Intact America 100%.
for this week's episode.
Keep our men whole.
Babies are perfect, dude.
Babies are perfect.
And listen, there's the best part about the anti-circumcision people is because there's obviously the fucking nutters, right? And then there's the people who just hate the Jews. And it's like, it's got to be weird being in a room of like dudes who are like, I just wish I could enjoy sex. Then there's a couple other guys like, yeah, why? You boys ever looked into the history of this? Why do we do this? What does this mean?
Oh, geez.
But
then you got a running back on the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. Did you see that shit, LaShawn Jackson?
Yeah. Deshaun Jackson. He posted like a Hitler quote and then he like apologized for it and he said he wasn't anti-Semitic. It's a non-issue, you know.
Yeah.
My brother sent me this great fucking video and it was like a Hotep dude and he was like white people are bad, they kept us as slaves, and then it's like the cuts to like the audience or whatever, everyone's like cheering, and he goes, the black people who sold us into slaves back in Africa are also evil. It's like people clearing, and then the next one is the Jews who operated all the ships and profited the most are like fucking are also evil. And it just cuts to the audience and they're all like, boo.
Yeah. I mean, it is a lot. It is just like Louis Farrakhan shit. Like that's what the Deshaun Jackson was. Is just like he's big into Louis Farrakhan, so he kind of adopted some of the less attractive beliefs of Louis Farrakhan as well as the good ones, you know. But back to the Mewtwo King shit. It's like that is the that's like an OJ level defense. Like after you're accused of fucking coming on a girl, like, ladies and gentlemen, I can't come.
I can't bust. I've never busted.
It's such a good defense. It's such a good defense that you could use it for like any fucking crime. Like you could like you're tried for like arson and it's like, ladies and gentlemen, I can't bust, and they still feel bad for you. You still get the fuck off.
You just go into some preschool and just like fucking just fill it with holes. And people are like, well, listen,
bomb a preschool. Ladies and gentlemen, my client.
Let me try to build out my defendant's character a little bit. He just lived on this earth 38 years. Not once has he laid a nut anywhere.
He's like a no-fap hero. He's on the no-fap Mount Rushmore.
It is like it's like the judge is like, well, everyone in the jury, there was DNA, there was blood and hair of the accused at the scene of the crime, but also he can't bust.
He can't bust.
But also,
there was no semen there, though.
You be the judge, yeah. But there was no because it can't bust. Oh fuck! I felt so bad for that dude though. Like, just imagine Imagine being on a broadcast in front of 100,000 people and just telling them that your dick's fucked up, you know? That's just a not ideal situation.
Yeah, but I think one of the crazy things...
Has it been proved, though?
Yeah, I want to fucking see it. Yeah. That's the first one. Show me your tip. Show me your tip
Let me jerk you off. You
think this I am putting your cock in my mouth, and I'm sucking like a camelback. I am waiting till that shit comes out. This is my fucking issue, though. All right, listen, I'm righteous. I'm righteous right now. I'm righteous. Look, man. Okay, you can't go out there and be like they're lying to take me down. Because if you're like Johnny Depp or whatever, yeah, maybe that chick did lie to take you down.
Yeah.
But when you were a fucking Twitch Smash streamer, realistically, first of all, you're probably not going to lose most of your fan base, which is probably also pedophile. It's like
or just literal 12-year-olds, you know, like pedophile victims, pedophile bait.
Yeah. But it's like what does anyone have to gain from that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You cancel Johnny Depp. Okay, that's a cultural moment. Whatever. Like, you know.
Yeah, this is a good point.
But it's like, what do you realistically like? What do they have to lie about? Like, well, you know, what's at stake? Because really, like, also the fact is, man, and I'm not. Listen, you guys are the Smash Boys. I'm not accusing your community of being
guys like the pedophile community.
Yeah. You kid diddlers.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, who cares? Who of those people who watch that stream, like how many of them are like, okay, well, this is like fucked up and like I'm not gonna do this anymore. Like versus somebody like, you know, Johnny Depp. So people wouldn't have gone to see that Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, listen, that's always going to be a flimsy defense because it's like it is like a lot of embarrassment and shit to like just make up something like that. But like when there's so little at stake, I just can't buy
that you're saying your dick is broken. Yeah,
I mean that's a really good point because this Dick Gate or whatever, circumcision gate, that's gonna live on. Like from what I know about Smash streamers, they're gonna be talking about that shit. They'll probably give it a month or two to like cool off, but that's gonna be a big joke. Which
there's gonna be rips.
King, yeah, exactly. That makes him talked about more, meaning his stream gets more publicity. So I think it's possible that like this is a counter lie, regardless of the validity.
Now that you say that, I also have a fucked up botched circumcision dick. So we're gonna get more into this podcast.
Well, boys, I'm glad we're coming out here. Frankly, I've never been happy with my circumcision. Actually, that's what this is. Yeah, we're just never gonna air it. Yeah, it's just gonna be like us talking about our fucked up circumcision.
I remember in high school we'd be jerking off in a circle, just waiting for the other one to come on the muffin or whatever.
And nobody could. Nobody could.
Tips. I saw all these boys with my own eyes. I jerked someone on myself.
I do really like the idea of like the Smash community electing like a brave soul to attempt to beat off New Dick King so we can see if he does come. And it's like a televised event. It's like on stream.
It's like that fucking Black Mirror where he fucks the pig.
Where he fucks the pig.
Oh my god.
I had a funny moment.
Man, that shit sucks.
Yeah. Dude, I was in my bed again, just drunk as shit, and like Pat came home and he was like, "Yo, man, how you doing?" I'm like, I'm not doing good, man.
I got shit in my pants."
He goes, "Yo, I wanted you to know, like everybody was talking about you at whatever fucking thing he was at." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah." I was talking with some boys, and they were like, "What's Tripp's cock like?" And I was like, "It's big." And he was like, "So like that can cheer you up." I'm just sitting there like, yeah. Like 4 dudes I know are like, yeah, Tripp's got a nice hog. And it's like, that's gonna like cheer me up.
Yeah.
You know what? It fucking did. It really did. Shout out to roommate Pat for being there during the whole time.
That's hilarious. Wow.
Yeah, that was a really funny thing. Good.
Oh
Did
my God.
it cheer you up?
It did, yeah. It was like, all right, well, yeah, fuck it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
It's always been
That's
about
a little bit of good publicity, yeah.
It's like getting jacked, you know. No, you know, no one cares. Like, girls don't care if you're jacked. Girls don't care if you have a big cock. Like, it's only dudes.
You're doing it for the guys. Yeah.
No, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I'm jelking every night. That's gotta
Fuck.
hurt.
I'm trying to think if there's any other. There's like the Hungry Box shit where he's like this. Plays Jigglypuff. He's like he's one of like the best Smash Bros. Melee players, and he did
He's
this
like the
weird
villain of that scene, though.
Yeah, they all hate him. I think just
Everyone
for
hates
being
him.
like, yeah, just for being like, I don't know if it was strictly for this. Probably now part of it was that this whatever shit's about to come out, but it was like he did this thing where like he just like point blank said like, yes, I am aware. He did like this video saying like, I am aware that there are rumors. I did cheat on my girlfriend in the past, and I have flirted with people in committed relationships, but I am willing to listen to everyone willing to come forward and change myself for the better. And it's like his fans or whatever eat that shit up, but it really does just feel like he's trying to get ahead of it, you know? Like that's like the ultimate thing is just like, I'm going to beat them to the punch so they can't like start whatever collective conversation it is.
Yeah.
It's weird that one ended up being like a part of like the canon of like shitty behavior is like people like trying to get people in committed relationships to cheat on their significant other, because that's kind of what happened to the Pine Grove guy, actually, if you guys remember that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I sort of do. Yeah.
What is Pine Grove?
It's like
Pine
that
Grove,
indie band.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But they like, it's interesting that gets put in there because like it is like obviously shitty, but it's like I don't know if that makes like like I'm not sure if that's necessarily on the same like tier as everything else, because it's like I don't know, like, because the other person also is like, I'm gonna cheat on this person, so really the loser is the boyfriend or whatever,
the guy,
you know, the
cuckold.
the cuck, right? And it's like also like it's just such a bit now to be cucking people and to like stealing people's girls and stuff. I mean, it's like fucking every like, especially man,
it's kind of cool to be a cuckold now.
Is it?
Steve is pushing his agenda. We didn't talk about this before.
Oh my God.
It's kind of sick. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying though. It's like it's not like the Growlers shit or whatever, where that dude just did legitimately rape like so many.
Well, right, and
women.
it's weird too that like you're gonna like, because that is the one that you would do if you were trying to hide something more fucked up, is to be like, yeah, I've like made,
like in Hungry Box's case, yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm thinking. I feel like he's trying to get ahead of whatever nefarious accusation he's about to catch. He's trying to control the narrative and be like, I cheated on my girlfriend. Meanwhile, he's got like a body count of like 30 dead babies.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly, because it's like, you know, you're like your fucking future. You know what I mean? You're like, you stole this guy's bitch because you're so good at Smash. It's like that's like, you know, you're kind of flexing. You're flexing in like the shitty like apology, because there are some apology flexes I have seen, man.
Yeah,
I definitely. I saw somebody post this thing. It's like, as a rich white woman, or it was a man, I don't remember who it was. It was like somebody that I follow, and like as I'm, because I'm rich as shit, and you know, just like pretty as hell, like I need to take responsibility for Black Lives Matter. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like,
I saw that shit. I think I saw the same one. It's like this girl in the pool, like on TikTok, and she's like floating on a pool floaty, and she's like an ally or whatever, and she's like, yeah, I'm rich, but like the privilege, like us talking about white privilege, shouldn't be you guys making fun of my dad who made all this money and tried.
Yeah.
You posted that thing about how like you have to vote for Biden, and people like it's like there's like a fucking fake background, and people are like, why is this background fake? And then they dug into it.
Oh,
like,
Zaid the activist.
Yeah, it fucking works for like Citibank, and they just have like a fucking 2-story marble atrium, and it's like
yeah.
Oh wow.
Photoshop.
It's so badass. It's so badass to call yourself an activist if you're an activist, you know? That's a classic activist thing to do. Zaid the activist. You know? That dude gives me
yes.
You want me to do the Simpsons joke?
No, we can't keep Simpson doxing. No, I had this great bit
Simpsons doxing is a good term for it.
No, I literally in the show notes for the first one of these we did. First of all, I just say my name. Like I had Steve turn the mics back on because I was like, I have this fucking crazy story. Which I guess I don't really want to tell it again because it's kind of fucked up. But no. But like I had this story, but in it, I first of all I doxed myself. I just say my fucking full legal name, and then I fucking like later on I'm like Simpson doxing myself at it, and there was like some fucking good Joseph Kony humor in the back end. We can't use any of it because it'd be a fucking nightmare.
Like, explain what Simpsons doxing is.
Yeah. Simpsons doxing. If it's like John Smith, you'd be like a certain individual. Let's call him J. Smith or John S. So it's like you just that's okay.
No, that's a great bit. I've seen that.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. It is funny. It's like just the one thing is not doxing ourselves.
I kind of want to do it to both of you right now.
Jesus Christ.
I'm really
like
fighting an urge. Yeah, I'm so close to just doing it for both of you.
Someone did say the high school name, and I'm pretty sure
that was me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and find it. I'm gonna have to go back and not edit this.
That was the drunk one, like when the night before.
I think I said it this one too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You
know?
Well, all the other episodes of Dangerous Material
are totally unusable. Totally unusable. Yeah, dude. I found a couple old ones, and there's like, first of all, there's a couple. I love it. Shout out to Harry because I know he's listening to this, but there's a few things that just didn't need to hit.
I know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And then we're just like talking about people we know. I'm like, oh well, my ex-girlfriend. I just fucking say her name. I was like, yeah, she used to put her feet in my face and fucking jerk me off. And it's like, oh, dude, like, no.
Let's call her L.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Yo, actually.
That would have been such a powerful Simpsons doc.
That would have been, yeah, dude, coming back from the grave, like just like across country. Has not thought about me in all that time, but yo, actually on this,
we should dox the most like not even related people, like someone like 2 grades away from us. Yeah.
What we should do? We should create us a unique alphabet, a podcast alphabet. And then send out decoder rings to Patreon subs. And they use the decoder rings to learn the new names of all of the fucking people we're talking about. I want a decoder ring, regardless of whether we actually create this.
Leave a comment below if you would like that.
Leave a comment below if you want to get involved in my already shitty life and just fucking take away the one thing that I have left. Yo, on the subject of fucking just breakups in general, there is a story we do need to tell because it was a story we were reminiscing on because like I've been thinking about doing it, and basically like if I was gonna get certain answers to certain questions, I was like, we're gonna have to break up, right? So that was in my head the night before.
Sorry, before you tell this story, we're at like I think in hour 22 or something.
Are we really?
We've done a lot. I would be down to do another one. It doesn't have to be like a full hour or anything, but I could still talk. Okay, cool.
I would be super down with that. I may have to go grab dinner.
You're fine. I could also do a break or whatever if you guys want to.
What if we did it? What if we did a break? What if we ended it here and then came back? I'm eating my dinner. We're talking.
I like that.
You want to eat?
This is good. We got good energy.
Editing we have to do.
Yeah.
Let me just see where my mom's at. Mom!
It's challenging at all times to be a parent, and these are not ordinary times. Many of you have fought for the right of your sons to be kept the way nature made them, breaking the cycle in your family often, or insisting that your son be given the same benefit that you were, if you were fortunate enough to be kept intact. For those who have been pressured or cajoled or have not been able to protect their sons and have subsequently realized that that was not the right thing for your child or for your family, the fact that you have come forward and are talking about this and telling people the truth and telling your son the truth and making a commitment to make sure that this doesn't happen to others. I really admire you tremendously. I thank you tremendously. And I wish you a very happy day today.